Yes, yes. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the retweet button. How you all doing this afternoon? You can call into the show. The link's in our description. While you're there, sign up to the Discord server as well. Really important that you get that done. The big week is here. Tomorrow, Man United play Burnley. Big team news given to us by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer today. Paul Pogba out. Paul Pogba out of the Burnley game. Didn't train with the group either yesterday or today. Will be assessed ahead of the game, but highly unlikely to feature against Burnley. Does this pose an opportunity for Van der Beek to get another game? Ollie has confirmed some exits and confirmed some transfers that will more than likely be leaving the football club. We're going to delve into that in a little bit more detail throughout the course of this show. But as I've said before, and I'll say many times again, make sure you're hitting the like button and the share button. And I don't quite know why this camera has zoomed in hella close. Really, really close. Terry, where are you? I'm here, bruv. What are you talking about? We're here. We're live. We're streaming. I'm right here. If you can't see me, I don't know what to say. Or even hear me, I don't know what to say. But we're here. Who's coming in? We'll go through all that in a moment. I'm just going to try and sort out this camera. It's gone weird. It shouldn't be at this angle. There we go. It's better. I don't know why I did that. But there you have it. Let's do some of the other comments that are coming in. Who's more a crybaby, Jose or Klopp? That's a really good question. Let the audience decide on that one. I'm not getting involved. Here's an update from what Ollie has said today. First up, he has said that Cavani has trained well when he was banned, had a couple of days off. He's ready to go. He gives us a different option. I'm glad to have him back. That's why we brought him in. He's contributed so far. Do you know what I say to that? Start Cavani. Start Cavani against Burnley. I think that's the best option. I think we're going to need the aerial prowess more than we maybe need it against Liverpool. I would start him at Turf Moor tomorrow night to help. Do you know what? Push us forward. Get us into that position. Let's have it right. Thank you, by the way, yes, for signing up and becoming a member. Put us top of the table. I think he'll score tomorrow if he starts as well. I really, really do. Second update, talking about the January transfer window. Ollie said that January is always difficult, but it sometimes comes... Sorry, January is always difficult, but sometimes it comes up that there is a long-term target anyway. That's another scenario. But many teams would like to lose their players in January, so unlikely something will happen on the inside. So he's pretty much confirmed it's unlikely that any of the main targets will come in this week. That fills me with a little bit of positivity, though, if I'm being honest. It fills me with positivity because if our main targets are not available and we can't get them, should we try and buy them? We shouldn't go for somebody else. The only thing I would like us to try and do, and it sounds in all these words like we've kind of had a look, is are we trying to get them in this month? If the clubs that they currently reside at don't want to sell them, it makes it hard. But it seems that that's fairly positive as far as I'm concerned. Update on Paul Pogba. We'll give you Ollie's words again. It says Paul and Eric didn't do all of it in terms of the training, but Luke Shaw and Victor Lindelof did it all. I've got a decent amount of players back. Let's see how Paul and Eric are tomorrow. So really positive news in relation to the injury front at Manchester United. Lindelof's going to be fit. Luke Shaw's going to be fit. Pogba and Eric Bailly have got an outside chance for tomorrow. I think Pogba and Bailly will both miss the game at Turf Moor, but it sets them both up brilliantly to return at Anfield. We are going to need Bailly. We are going to need Paul Pogba if we're coming away with a positive result. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Of course, the other update that came today is that Timothy Fosu-Mensah has edged closer to a move to Bayern Leverkusen. It was going to have to happen. You know, he rejected a new deal. I don't know why he'd sign a new deal at Manchester United. I think it would be crazy. He has moved on. What Ollie has said as well today is there might be 2 or 3 more going out because they deserve to play more football for their own good and their own careers. So Ollie confirming those United transfers today, those transfers leaving the club. He has said we are looking at trying to bring in some of our main targets in January, but highly unlikely to happen. What's positive about that is that we've made the attempt to do it. And but we're not going to deviate away from our main targets. I think that's the right long-term strategy for Man United. Cavani back ready, raring to go. Pogba and Bay likely to miss out on tomorrow's game at Burnley. I want to hear from you, though. Get your super chats in as well. One here from man like, what does it say? Legan and Sweet. Okay, it says, Terry, why don't you give credit to Pep for changing his system? You gave Klopp credit. What's your agenda? He's got to achieve with it. So there isn't an agenda, but he's got to achieve with it, hasn't he? You can't just say, Terry, give Pep credit for changing his system. I don't know how much of his system he's changed or his style he's changed, if I'm being honest. They've looked pretty much City of old in recent weeks. But if he has changed it and we see the proof over a period of time and they win something with it, of course I'll praise him. I would, of course, praise him. I don't really know what else to say other than that, bro. Other than that there really isn't much else to be said about the matter. That's it. Simple, straightforward as that. Oh, comment here. The agreement has been reached between Man United and Bayer Leverkusen for Timothy Fosu-Mensah. Ajax were also interested, but he's joining Bayer Leverkusen. Here we go soon. That is him done. That is him gone. That is him out of the football club, confirmed by the man, the master, the myth, the legend, that is Fabrizio Romano. Give me your initial thoughts and feelings to that. We had another super chat here. This is from the Devil's Advocate, who's also waiting in the back area to talk as well. We'll get him on in a moment. It says, feel like we're missing an opportunity to capitalize on the Ligue 1 situation, or Ligue 1, if we speak in English. Ligue 1 situation. Badashila would be a good player to go for. I'm going to get Devil's Advocate to come on and speak about that himself rather than delving into it in more information. Another YouTube comment, another super chat here says, Terry, score prediction 2-0 to United for me. I'm going with 3-0 Man United tomorrow. I'm confident. I'm confident going into this game against Burnley. I think we have the ability. I think we have the players, people returning. And there seems to be a bit of a feel-good factor and a swagger amongst this Man United team. I think we're going to do it tomorrow night. I think we're going top of the league, and I think we're going top and clear by 3 points. Bring it on. Roll on. The Manchester-Liverpool Northwest Derby this week. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for it. We're going to get the Devil's Advocate on here. Welcome back to the show, buddy. Thank you for the super chat. And yeah, tell me about the situation in Ligue 1 and why you think United should be capitalising on it.
Well, the thing is, obviously, I'm sure you've all heard with the news. Obviously, the TV deal that's been broken down in Ligue 1. A lot of the clubs in the French league are struggling financially, and you know, we do have holes in our squad. And I know people want to say, "Oh, yeah, it's going well," and obviously, you want to get your prime targets. But you know, for example, Memphis Depay's up for £5 million. Would I take him back? Probably not. I feel like that ship sailed, but. You know, there's plenty of targets. I mean, we were after Badashil in the summer, so and they wanted that. They said back then they wanted like Marshall-like figures. So they're not really in a position to you know demand that sort of money now. And you know, I get that January transfer window is quite short and you haven't got a lot of time to plan. But I feel like if we miss out on this opportunity to sign, for me, a centre back, I don't personally trust Maguire and Lindelof. I mean, Rio has come out and said, and obviously. Pundits' opinions aren't necessarily better than us fans, but he played with Nemanja Vidic. I'm pretty sure he knows what a good centre-back partnership is, and he said that partnership gives him nightmares. So I feel like we should get a centre-back because I feel like if in come May, I feel like if we miss out by 3 to 6 points off the title, I feel like we could have been saying, had we signed a centre-back in the January transfer window, would this season have been different?
Yeah, do you know what? I hear you on that in terms of capitalizing on a market that is in trouble. It should always be done. I suppose it really depends on the stance of those football clubs. So what you may find is that we go in and say, well, listen, you know, we'll give you 20% less than we were interested in paying last summer for Badashila. The problem you have is that they might twist. They might say, do you know what? Because Liga are, of course, going to go out and try and find a new sponsor now, somebody else to come in. So they might just sort of bite the bullet for a small period of time. I think we've listened to what Ollie said, and we don't know whether it's Badashila or other players we're looking at. You kind of get the impression that we've made some inquiries into our main targets, but you get
an FC though, isn't it?
Well, exactly. And I think for me, the only issue we all have, and I'm not going to challenge anybody's opinion, trusting this board, whether they've done it or not, or whether they're doing a good enough job, if they are doing it, I think is a fair cop. But yeah, I didn't actually know that about league wise. That's completely gone over my head that those things happen. How are you feeling ahead of tomorrow night's game against Burnley?
A little bit nervous, if I'm being honest. I feel like, with the team we've got, on paper we should easily beat Burnley, but it's Burnley. They've got Sean Dyche and they played up a standard, British football 4-4-2 system. They're going to be very hard to beat, and especially with obviously Bailly being out, they've got Ashley Barnes and Wood up front, and they're very physical strikers. And this season we haven't been particularly great from set pieces and in the air. Obviously Maguire's got a great aerial duel percentage. However, set pieces is our biggest Achilles heel, and I feel like if they get a good few corners in, they're going to be able to capitalize on that. And we're going to have to really grind out a result with them, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be grinding, but I actually think we're going to score some goals tomorrow night. I agree. I'm thinking about this romantically. I get the feeling that what's going to happen tomorrow night is it's almost going to set up the Northwest Derby to be even bigger than it already is, and a Man United win does that. So I just think the football gods are gonna turn around and just say, "Listen, this is for everybody. This is for all." A Man United win tomorrow night, I get from a City point of view is bad, but from a football fans point of view, I think it's like massive positive news. So I think that's what's going to happen. Devil's Advocate, listen, I appreciate all your support.
Thank you, mate.
Coming on the show. Speak to you again soon. Yeah, mate. Thank you very, very much indeed. Do me a favor, everyone tuning in, smash that like button first and foremost. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Sign up to our Discord server. We want to hear from you. Next up on the show is going to be Sancho fan. Sancho fan, welcome to the Football Terrace. What do you want to say?
It's John Parky's.
Next up, Miles Honor. What you saying?
Hello, Arkid.
Same guy. Hello. Same guy. How you doing?
Hello.
You're funny. Listen, bro, thanks for calling.
Can you hear me?
Yes, mate. Take care. Listen, some of these guys call up 2 or 3 accounts at a time. Next up, we've got GNA TV on the show. Man like ads. What you saying, bro?
I'm good, bro.
Some of these guys call up 2 or 3 accounts.
Do me a favor, mute your...
Yeah, I've just muted it.
There we go, bro. Yeah. How's your head? How are things ahead of this Burnley game? And what did you make of the team news from Ollie today?
Listen, I'm going to say this right now. This is a game we need to win, hands down. It's just a game we need to win. And if we don't, we're in serious shit, bro. And that's what I've got to say, man. Because the thing is, I want to talk about Fosu-Mensah as well. I think it was always going to be a matter of time before he left. It's always going to be a matter of time before he left. He needs to advance on his career. And he was never going to get a spot. I think Wan-Bissaka's just held down that right back spot. It's not going to get taken by anyone. And yeah, man, talk about the Burnley game. Burnley, they're not a great team. Not a great team. Personally, for me, I think they are beatable, but they do oppose a slight threat when it comes to counter-attack football, and that's what they do very, very well. Obviously, they do oppose a threat when it comes to a high line as well. But for me, any side that we set out should be able to beat them. And if we do that, we know we end up on the top of the league. And if we do that, then I'll be very, very happy. But I'm not going to go over my head and say, yeah, we're going to definitely win if we beat Burnley. But I'm not Ollie in and I'm not Ollie out. I'm manager in because, whoever comes in, I'm going to back them. If they deserve criticism, I'll give it to them. If they deserve praise, I'll give them praise. But it's only a matter of time before changes will be made. And if the manager does have to go, then he'll have to go. But as of now, he's doing a good job and I'm going to give him praise for it.
And I think that's a fair assessment, if that makes sense. It's something I was talking to. Who was I talking to earlier on? So I think I was talking to KJ earlier on today, and I spoke about it on the show. And I'm like, fair criticism is warranted. I think is needed from the fan base. The social media scene is a place where we can all come out and express our views and express our opinions as football fans. But you often hear a lot of criticism that's not required. And what I mean by that is, we won 2-0 today, but we weren't great. If we'd have dropped Martial and dropped McTominay and played Greenwood and Van der Beek instead, we'd have won better. And you sort of think, you know what though? If I had a magic wand and you could go back to the beginning of the game and change that round, but you don't know what the outcome's going to be, would you give up the 3 points with just one at the chance of winning those same 3 points back again, but in more style? But you also have the possibility of losing points, losing the game, drawing the game, etc. I don't think 95% of people would go back and try and rewrite history. So if that's the case, why spend so much time focusing on it? I get if you've won 4 or 5 games on the bounce and every single performance is dead, poor, rubbish. There's something to maybe be concerned about, but that isn't the space that Man United find themselves in right now. Bro, I appreciate you coming on.
Man.
Take care. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon. Next up, we've got Vince live. Is this going to be another one? Hello.
Hi, pal.
How you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. What do you want to say?
Well, first things first is jump pack.
I had a feeling. I don't even mind these trolls as long as, like, follow it up. Whatever you're trying to say, like, follow it through. Do you know what I'm saying? You can call the show, by the way, right about now. All you got to do is go into the link in our description below. Sign up to our Discord server as well. Really important to the Football Terrace that you get that done. Just gonna be sharing that stream. I'm sharing the stream on Discord right now, actually. Next up, we've got Divyan. Divyan, welcome back to the show. What do you want to say?
Hey, man. Terry, what's up? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. What do you want to say, brother?
Nothing. I'm just, I actually just wanted to say that I'm very happy with the way we're at United, but I just want to say that I'd be happy with, a top 4 also this season, to be honest. I don't mind. It's good to be on a title run, but I think United fans need to sort of understand the space that we're at right now and the place we're in, and it's still a process. So I'm good with, top 4 as well. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, mate. Listen, thank you very much for coming on, having your say. Top man, thank you very much. I think you make a really good point there that the way I sort of look at this is like, I want to say this in the right way. My expectations at the beginning of the season were quite low after the transfer window. I didn't even expect us to make the top 4. So being near on a title race now, or the edge of one, not winning it at the end of it, you have to always go back and look at where you thought you were going to be. Perspective, I suppose, is what you would call it. The Devil's Advocate here, upgrading their membership to legendary status. Thank you very, very much for doing it. Remember, this week we're going to have tomorrow night, 5 p.m. We're live with Lee Gunner on the show. And then from Wednesday onward, we've got a series of different previews coming on combined 11 shows building up to the Northwest Derby and a few other little nice little treats for you in relation to the build up to this game. Thank you to the Devil's Advocate there. Next up, we're going to have Hamza LFC on the show. What you saying, bro?
Hey, Terry, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. What do you want to say? What do you want to say, bro?
I just wanted to ask you how confident you are going into the Burnley game and then to the Northwest Derby, because we've seen when Spurs were as soon as that pressure of getting into the title race came, Spurs capitulated and then Chelsea capitulated. So how confident are you that Manchester United can do one better than those two?
Do you know, I'm not confident we can win the league. I'm confident we can be there or thereabouts in terms of a title race, being within touching distance of the leaders by the end of the campaign. I'm confident we can now mount a top 4 race. The signings of Alex Terrace and Cavani have been a lot better than for the team overall than I thought they maybe would have been. So I got that wrong. So I'm more confident there. I am confident about beating Burnley. If we beat Burnley and we were to beat Liverpool, I think my confidence would grow because I think that represents one of those gateways that you've just mentioned. It represents one of those gateways of passing a barrier. I don't really remember Tottenham when they were involved in title races going and beating a rival for that title race, if that makes sense. So I think that would be one of those internal gateways, like a semi-final of us breaking through. And you hope that you can grow from there and build and come out. The issue that I have is, and I keep the same energy we spoke about Liverpool, if we lose Maguire for the rest of the season, if Bruno had an injury, if Rashford misses a fair piece of time, we ain't winning the league, if that makes sense. I think it's too early to say that. What if we get good results this week? I think we can certainly say that we can push for a title, that we can challenge. Winning it, though, is a completely different methodology. In terms of yourselves, when it comes to Liverpool, how confident are you at getting a result against United this week and sort of bouncing back from your recent sort of average to poor performances?
Yeah, I get that. But I'd say that whenever we've played a top six side, this Liverpool team has turned up. Yeah, we drew to West Brom and then Fulham and then lost to Southampton. But I think when it comes to the big games, I think Klopp has a way of getting these players riled up, and yeah, but I think that will come into play when it's that Northwest derby as soon as it comes closer. I think Klopp has found some rhythm. I would say, with Thiago coming back, and now he's using Shaqiri a bit more. We saw Minamino play against Aston Villa, and he looked pretty decent. So I am confident. I would say that, yeah, Manchester United. I think so, and this is a prediction sort of. I think they just scrape with a draw against Burnley, and then they would end up drawing with us. It's a prediction. I think they might not have enough to handle that pressure of being in the title race and going to the top of the league.
Mate, fair shout. I mean, there's precedent for that. There really is. Hamza, thank you very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really do appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. I test here with a comment who says, Ollie said last season he was building a team for next season. So it does not matter what you thought. What you thought the expectations should have been this season, because it should have been the league according to Ollie. Yeah, listen, in terms of Ollie, so what Ollie says and what I think are two different things. And I can differentiate the two because I've got a brain. So Mikel Arteta has said to Willian that Arsenal are going to win the Champions League in 3 years. At the start of that third season, if Arsenal were not in the Champions League, should fans have the expectation of winning it that season because the manager said 3 years ago they would? That makes sense, bro. Like, I understand what you can hold Ollie account for not being where we need to be. And I think I did think a few weeks ago you apologized to Ollie. So I don't really kind of get why you're having a pop at him again. Are you deviating again? I test. Are you deviating again? You're having a little bit of a wobble. Are you a bit scared this week? Are you a bit scared this week that if we don't win these 2 games, the Ollie out mob become the most popular again and you're going to be on the wrong side of the fence? Have you gone to the wrong party, bruv? Is that what you reckon? The devil's advocate here says, if Cavani starts, then surely so should Terrace. Balls into the box combined with his movement will be lethal. I think with Luke Shaw only just returning to training, it would make sense to start Terrace anyway. I would personally do that. There's a lot of games coming up. So yeah, I make you right. Next up on the show, we're going to have Hakeem Wright. So we're going to get man on the show. Hakeem, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Remind everybody who you support, bro.
Man United.
You're a Man United fan. Give me your thoughts ahead of this big week.
Oh no, man. I honestly feel nervous. I don't know why. But I think we're going to win the game. If we win the game tomorrow, it puts us in a great position. I as a fan want us to go to Anfield and end their 60-odd game unbeaten run. But winning the game tomorrow makes it not a must-win game. But Solskjaer can't tell the players, hey, it's not a must-win game, because we could really step on their throats if we win the next 2 games and really send out a statement to the league, to media, to fans that, we're serious this year. But, and I say this every time, whenever there's expectation for us to perform, we don't perform. So it's kind of like last season, we weren't expected to win the big games last season. So we had a great record because going into the games, and I'm not taking anything away from the players or Solskjaer or the club in general, we weren't expected to win a lot of those games, but we did. So it's kind of like, oh, now we can win the big games. Now this season, when we're expected to at least win the big games at home, we haven't been able to do it. And now we're kind of expected to go to Anfield and get a point, let's see how much that changes. And I know a lot of fans are kind of disappointed on the fence, especially after Wednesday's performance, which wasn't terrible, but we still didn't get over the line, you know? So it's just to see how much we've evolved and how much as a team and also as a manager, Solskjaer has come along in order for us to get through this week.
No, I understand that completely, mate. And I think that these gateways, these weeks, these moments, I'm so excited. I'm like you though. By the way, you do really look a little bit like Timothy Fosu-Mensah. I just was I look at that. I think might be the beard and the haircut, like collectively, bro. I think that's what it is.
It might be, but you know what's funny? I've heard that I look like David Alaba before too. So I'm guessing, but that was when I was younger. So
I hear that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
People say I look like I get all sorts of weird ones. Someone said the other day, someone actually said I look like Mark Wright, and I was like, bro, I take that. Mark Wright's a stunning looking geezer. But no, I agree with you. I sort of feel like I agree with you. I call them internal gateways because it's about us getting over a barrier internally and mentally. If we can come through this, if we can push through this week and walk away with 6 points or 4 points from this week, ideally, you'd like to beat Burnley first and then draw or beat Liverpool. It would be very typical Man United, actually, to draw to Burnley and then beat Liverpool. That almost feel like a very Ollie thing to do at the club. But I think if we can get through this week positively and be clear at the top, maybe, just maybe, that's I felt all along that could be the sort of the boost for the squad, the manager and the fans that's needed to say maybe we can just get over the line and push forward. And it's such an intriguing week ahead. I'm so excited about it, but at the same time, like you, I've just got this negative, nervous energy build up here, you know. And I was finishing some work earlier, and I sat down to prep for the show, and I'm like, oh God, it's only 24 hours until we play Burnley. I kind of felt like it was ages away, and we'll have that game, and then we'll review that game. The fallout will happen, and we'll just rest again. It'll be 2 days until we play Liverpool. Like it'll just 2 days until the weekend when we play Liverpool. It's just going to be an absolute madness. It really is. But Hakeem, thank you for coming back on the show again, mate. And we'll chat to you, man. Thank you very much. Next up on the show, we're gonna have who we're gonna pick. We're gonna pick Samad. Samad's gonna be on the show. What you saying, bro?
I'm good.
Yeah, how you doing? Your
Very good.
signal's really.
Can I talk about Chelsea? Is that fine?
Yeah. What do you want to say about Chelsea?
I don't think Chelsea will make top four because our team needs to gel for a year. But as well, I expect Chelsea to make top four next season. So what do you think about that?
You need to make top four, otherwise Frank Lampard's getting the sack. That would be my view, my friend. Who are you playing this week? I don't even know.
Fulham.
Piece of easy. 3 points, no problem. Absolutely zero problem there, mate. Look, we're going to chat later on in the week more about Chelsea, but I'll speak to you soon, brother. Next up on the show, we're going to have Jezza. Jezza, welcome to the show. What are you saying, Jez?
Hi, Terry. Can you hear me, bro?
Perfect, bro. Who do you support and what do you want to say?
I'm a Chelsea fan, but I know it's a United stream, so I'm a bit brave coming out here. But I actually just have a question for you, actually.
Go for it.
Obviously, United are doing quite well at the moment. You guys are in a great place right now, and rightly so. I think if you are a Man United fan and you're a real Man United fan, you should believe in this moment right now, I would be gassed. I would be behind my manager. Regardless of what I think about him, now's not the time to get and put the heat on the manager. However, long term, with your history and of bringing in youth players, are you worried right now that there doesn't seem to be a clear path for the youth into the current first team?
Brandon Williams, Dean Henderson, Scott McTominay, Rashford, Mason Greenwood. I'm not going to throw Paul Pogba in, but he is from the academy.
Yeah,
they're there. We've seen Laird go out on loan to gain some experience. I think Hannibal's got a good opportunity. So I do think there's a pathway, but you have to get the balance right. Sometimes you've got to go out and purchase players because they're just out of this world. So, Ahmad Diallo, we've got a big video about Diallo dropping tonight at around 8 p.m. So make sure you're about, people. I spent a day and a half researching this player, watching him play, looking at the way he dribbles, shoots, his tendencies, statistics, and everything that backs it up. So make sure you're tuning in tonight. Actual footage of him as well that we had permission to use. So make sure you're tuning in to that Diallo video tonight. It's massive. He's a young player that's going to be given opportunity. But what I'll go back and stress is this. You can only develop, in my opinion, 4 to 5 young players, and I put that from the age of 23 and below at any one time. Otherwise, the squad becomes too dependent on it. What Man United have had to do, and I still think we need more of it, is we have to strengthen in our senior roles. Because if I rewind 12, 18 months, we were far too reliant on 21-year-olds being our match winners and young players in their young 20s or teens being our best performers. If you go and look at the crop of academy players that killed it at Barca, the class of 92 as an example, even when you look at clubs like Leicester and Southampton that have got a good record in recent years of blooding youth, look at the established pros that surround them and enable them to flourish. Man United had it the wrong way around. We were trying to make our start. That's one of my worries for Saka at Arsenal. Saka and Martinelli shouldn't be the stars. They should be the accompaniments to the stars, because they're going to have up and down moments because they're young, and the pressure shouldn't be placed upon them. So for me,
yeah, I agree.
That's my sort of view. There is always a pathway, and I know some Man United fans get angry when they hear expressions like the United way and the DNA. But there are two things that are part of the DNA and the Man United way that are not myth. They're clear parts of the history, the heritage, and the tapestry that makes my football club so beautiful and wonderful. It's the development of our youth, whether that be the development of a starlet who could take on the world, technically ability, but also one thing every single one of our players has to have to make it at Man United is the right attitude, the right application, the right dedication, and the passion to want to give their all, not just for the team, but for themselves week in, week out, and to always look to better themselves and to move forward. That, for me, is something that I never want this club to relinquish. That is something which, if this club didn't do anymore, if we suddenly started winning titles again, but we had no academy players featuring in our teams, it would take away from the achievement as far as I'm concerned, because it's one of the things that I love about my football club, and I wouldn't want us to yield on that. I suppose my expression would be this: taking away Man United's traditions would be the same as Jamie Oliver jerking rice. And you like, this is my point. It's for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? I lived in Manchester. There's certain elements that are culturally beautiful about Manchester United Football Club, and I understand it's a global brand, and I understand that people all around the world support it. But respecting the traditions from where you came from and where it originates from and what it's meant to be, I think is inherently important, and it shouldn't be neglected. And it's one of those things where I feel like the academy, the development, the attitude of the type of person that we want there, that actually got eroded in the last 7 or 8 years. And I think it's imperative that gets sort of addressed. So I know it's quite a long-winded answer, but there is always going to be a pathway, but time is also key, because
I agree with you.
if you've already got 2 or 3 young players that are being blooded in, unless there's an absolute sensation that emerges, it's going to be hard for others. Like players of the level of Brandon Williams and Scott McTominay, I don't think you'll see any more of them introduced at this moment in time, because we don't need them. Scotty Mack and Brandon Williams, in my view, once the squad gets a couple more purchases, they will just become match day fringe players. I don't think they will be first team starters week in, week out. If we signed in Ndidi tomorrow, McTominay game time drops by 40%. If we sign another fullback, so yeah, that would be my view.
Timing is crucial.
No, 110%, bro. Listen, I appreciate you coming on, mate, having your say. Thank you very much, my man. Take care.
All
Speak
right,
to you. Next up on the show, Craig United is coming on with us when he unmutes his line. Craig, what are you saying?
Hi, Terry.
Rubbish. You're absolutely rubbish. Umagampon next. Zane, welcome back to the show. What do you want to say, bro?
Hi, Tally. Thanks for having me on. I was just going to say, jump parking.
This guy's got so many accounts. He really has. Who's next? I don't even know who to trust. I'm going to trust someone whose face I can see. We've got Gerard on the show. Gerard, what you saying, bro?
Hey Terry, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. What do you want to say, mate?
Yo, I'm gonna say let's give credit to Ole and his team. You know, everybody said he's not gonna do well like at the start of season, but now you see where we are. So the guy is doing good job. Let's give him time. Let's say Ole is at the wheel.
I'm not singing Ollie's at the wheel. That's not happening. But listen, I'll always give a manager, I'll always give a player credit where it's due. Whether I think they're good enough, whatever I think about them, because I don't have any personal agendas. I don't go to sleep hating or being overtly annoyed at football players. I have my own worries. You know, to hate on them so much is a madness. But I mean, how confident are you though ahead of this week's? It's a mammoth week, and how confident are you personally?
Yo, read my words. If we beat Burnley, we're gonna beat Liverpool, and it's gonna be 6 points on top. You know, the end of the week. But
I hope, I pray.
But if we don't beat tomorrow, Burnley, it's gonna be hard. But if we beat that, let's take the momentum to Liverpool and beat them like 1-0, whatever. I don't care the score. I don't care about the score. Just let's get the points, you know. And
I hear that, bro. Listen, thank you for coming on the show and having your say, mate. Thank you very much. Next up on the show, is it pronounced Kieran?
Yeah.
Kieran, welcome.
Ollie, we've got problems at the back and centre back here. Well, with Lindelof and Maguire there. So if there was an investment into there, who do you think it would be? Who do you think it should be, in fact?
I think Upamecano's got a really high ceiling, but he isn't the finished article. So I would like him because I've got the patience. I've got the patience to wait for him to make it. I think Badiashile is a real good talent. Koulibaly, of course, is a ready-made star that can go into that position straight away. Outside of that, I haven't personally done much research into it. They're the only three centre-backs in the last, say, 9 months I've really taken the time to go and look at and study and say, I want you. And it's also got to be someone that's attainable, that you know you can go and sign, if you get where I'm coming from. That would be who I look at. Who would you go for yourself?
Well, I've been looking at a few players, yeah. Obviously, the people that you said already. And there's also a guy called Jules Koundé. He's fast, he's got all the attributes, and he's young as well. He's got quite a lot of potential. And he's doing good at Seville at the moment.
There we go. I'll take a little look at the geezer. Thank you very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. Thank you. Listen, Eric, if you pay £100 super chat, I will sing Ollie's at the Will. I'm up for hire. You can hire me if you choose to, but it's completely and utterly up to you if you want to do that. You put £100 super chat in, I'll sing it. There we go. So it's as simple, as straightforward as that. Have they replaced the name Sanchez in the song with somebody else now? I don't know. Maybe we'll replace Sanchez with who could we use instead of Sanchez? We've got someone with 2 syllables, so we'll go with Terrace. I don't know. We've got Donny. We'll put Donny in. That's what we use instead. Next on the show, we're gonna have Daniel Spencer. What are you saying?
Yes, Terry, man's in the dark. I'm feeling a bit under the weather, so
no worries, bro. I weren't sure whether you were that geezer that was ringing up doing a madness there.
He's a joke. He's a joke.
Cool. What do you want to say ahead of this
Terry,
week?
you confuse me because what? Are you Ollie in or out? Because I remember watching the show a couple months ago, and you was getting onto like rants and all of that, saying, them lot Ollie out, don't know what they're talking about, but I'm not too sure with you. So if you could just confirm.
So I'm neither, bruv.
Okay.
So let me address this. I'll address it. So there was a time a year or so ago where I was saying I think he needs to be sacked, and I felt that he'd taken us as far as he could. Obviously, I was wrong because he's improved tenfold since then. But even at that point, I didn't want to be part of the Ollie out mob. And equally, when you've mentioned rants, I'll mention rants. I don't put Rants in that mob. What I respect about Rants, not that I agree with everything he says, but what I respect about his view is that he cannot be changed. With the Ollie out mob, they just hypocrisize themselves in the sense of, there's one guy I've had on the show that all he said for 4 months is, I just need Ollie to improve the win percentage. It's too low. That's improved, still not happy. He needs to start winning. He needs to push us into a title race. We're pretty much there that doesn't make him happy. I want to see more consistency. We've had that for a year. That doesn't make him happy. That's more my concern with Ollie outers, is that they will say something today of why they don't rate him or what they want to see improved. That thing
basically nothing doesn't please them, basically.
Yeah, and so for me, it's a case of if you're going to put out a kind of comment to say he needs to do X and he does X, if you don't then change your mind, then you lack credibility to me. But like I said on a few shows recently, I'm not really wasting energy on it. You know, like Rance is entitled to his opinion. KJ, he's Flex, Goldbridge, yourself, me.
Yeah, obviously opinion, innit? That's what it is. You support your club either way, innit?
Yeah,
the last thing I wanted to say to you as well. You see the Burnley game.
Yes,
you're taking it too lightly, Terry. Do you see Burnley? They are set piece kings.
Yes.
I will be back on this stream when they beat you 2-1. I'll be back on.
Come on, bro. Come on, Daniel.
I've seen Man United.
Daniel Spencer or Frank Spencer? What are you talking about, Spencer? Come on. Come on.
I'm not saying that don't be confident, but I'm saying you're a bit overconfident, Terry.
No, it's gonna be a tough game. We've got to go into it right, but I am confident.
And they've got a couple players that haven't been playing for a couple of weeks that are back, you know. So don't sleep on Burnley. That's all I was gonna say. If I was to put a tenner on it, I would put it on Burnley.
Who do you support?
Nottingham Forest.
Shut up.
You know who I support, Terry, man. Come on.
No, I speak to so many people here. Sometimes you're a Forest fan. Jeez, bro. Now, listen, on a real level, I think we'll be fine with Burnley. I think we'll get the job done. I think we've got the bit between our teeth. But equally, I said it on the stream last night.
When I watch Man United, there's no build-up play. Like, I don't see any threats. All I see is fluke FC.
Nah, bro. See, you're blind. See, this is where I do challenge like the Ollie out. Like, so I think about this, right? Are you one of these people? Do you think we're like freestyle moment of brilliance FC?
I'm not too sure because you know what it is, yeah. When I look at the left back, it's not a carbon copy of the right back. It's like what some people in the team can play football, some can't. Then the one good player that you do have in McTominay, your fans don't like him.
You like McTominay?
Yeah, he's decent. He's a warrior.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. I think he's good. I don't think he's world class, and I don't.
Nah, not yet. He can't be.
I'm just like he's middle of the road. Let me. The thing is, these are the kind of things about Man United and Ollie that I do disagree with, and I'm not deep in about it. It just is what it is. I hear things like Man United are just a team full of moments and individual brilliance. For me, you're criticizing the team for doing something that all top teams do. And what I mean by that is, let's just say Man City, if Man City's success in recent years hasn't been partly because of individual moments of brilliance, then why do we rate KDB so highly? Because because that means if it's
Remember,
about
the only reason why they won the league that season is because of that company individual brilliance.
No, I get that. So yeah, exactly. The point I'm making is this: when it comes to if we look at three players, Harry Kane, KDB, Trent Alexander-Arnold, they both have played and done brilliant things in what would be considered by most very good systems and styles. But their individual moments of brilliance in games has enabled those teams to be elevated. Otherwise, you could replace Harry Kane with any striker and the system would deliver the same goals. You could play KDB, take KDB out and put any other, you could put Pereira in and you're going to create the same amount of chances because the system is the important bit and not the individual moments of brilliance from a football player. I think what people do with Man United, or some people do, is they minimize everything down to those moments and they take away everything else. It's like when something doesn't work, so when the pattern of play doesn't come off, they say, see no pattern. When it does work, they say it only worked because an individual did something brilliant. But that is pretty much the case for think about some of Man United's most famous moments. Was Wayne Rooney's overhead kick the tactics or a moment of brilliance? Was the counter-attack goal against Arsenal in the Champions League tactics or individual moments of brilliance in terms of moving things forward? Think about a great team goal in football where there's 30, 40 passes. 80% of that goal is part of the tactics, moving the ball side to side, trying to drag players out of position. But at some point in that goal, there has to be a moment of brilliance where somebody plays a cutting pass to take somebody out.
There has to be loads of anticipation.
Where there's a one-touch moment where you get a little flick around the corner and you create a hole in the space. So of course, systems play a part, but the more the teams generally that play the better football have the majority of the better players because you have more people that have the opportunity that will have more moments of brilliance on a regular basis. So I kind of look at what they say when they say we're a team of moments. That's
I
true.
disagree with that. I think you're a team of flukes. No,
well,
Fluke
listen,
FC. It is Terry, man. Come on.
So let's go to that then. So we'll go to your point because I quite like conversations like this.
So we can. What's the last match that I watched with you lot? I think it was the Sheffield match. The Sheffield match is like I'm watching it. There's literally nothing going on. If you get what I'm trying to say, like in the midfield, there's nothing. There's not a person coming deep, dropping wingers, making runs off the ball.
Yes,
I'm
there
just
is.
literally seeing
There is.
Rashford get his head down and just run.
Hang on. So you just said there's no one making runs, and then you've just said Rashford runs.
No, as in he's not making. Let me explain this properly. Yeah.
Okay, go on.
He just gets the ball and puts his head down and runs into the right back or the left back, whatever side he's in. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
But I'm saying like Martial's not really like the way I would see Aubameyang make a run. I'm not really seeing that from. And it's maybe because I don't support Man United. And remember, I don't even like Man United. The only reason why I watch Man United so much because I hate them. So I only watch them just to watch them lose. But it's 50-50 of them. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. But you have to love watching Man United, isn't it?
Listen. I see the runs. I see things. I like your energy in terms of what you're saying. But there's lots of runs that are made.
So tell me, like, all right, Martial. Do you know when I first?
So on Martial, let me just address him. Martial's movement off the ball for runs isn't good enough.
Yeah,
can
I cut you with one thing, Terry? Yeah, the way I would play Martial, yeah. Do you know how Mbappe played for France in the World Cup on the right wing and just dashing in behind players? Like that's the way I would play Martial.
On Martial, we agree on this. I think Martial, we've seen him now for a good couple of years under Oli playing central striker a lot. I think Martial is a better football player coming in from the playing wide and coming in sort of
left backs. That's what Martial should be doing.
I mean, he's excellent at doing that. But yeah, I mean, there is movement and there is creativity in Manchester United. And the reason I
do you know what it is? I'm not saying that there isn't, but I'm saying Man United are a world-class team. So I'm saying there's not enough. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's just not. I'm just not seeing enough from Man United for me.
I think you're setting the bar far too high. Really. If I'm being honest, and what I would say about this around being fluky or inconsistent, what we've achieved since the 1st of Feb, when our turn of fate really changed, and we've been very good since. You're getting towards nearly 12 months of performing nearly a mid 60 to high 60 win ratio, winning more games, conceding less goals, more chances being created as an example in those games. You can't keep doing that and it be a fluke. We beat Burnley tomorrow, we go top of the league. The league doesn't lie. You can't.
Do you think you've got the ability to win the league, though?
No, not yet. Not yet.
But some of your fans, it's like this, yeah. Some of your fans, you win a game, we're gonna win the league. You lose it, Ollie out. I'm thinking, yeah, they use the old Western Arsenal fans.
Listen, bro. Listen, I'm guilty of doing that sometimes as well, and I know that I am.
That's why I didn't know if you was Ollie in or out.
But what you've got to sometimes do, Danny,
I'm watching you and I'm thinking, no.
But you've got to listen to my context and my rationale. So when we lost to Istanbul, right, I was raging. But the reason I was talking about sacking Ollie isn't because it's my personal thing. That was in the moment and in a time where we were being told by the mainstream media that we were in conversations with Poch. So my point was, if you're in conversations with Poch and you want Poch, just sack Ollie. It isn't I want Ollie sacked today. My personal thought, even when I wanted Ollie out, by the way, a year ago, when I thought he'd taken us as far as he could, I didn't foresee our improvement being so drastic after Bruno came in. But what I did say, even go back to all the videos where I said, I think he's got to go. I did say to people, don't expect a quick turnaround with a new manager. So my energy towards the club progressing hasn't changed, whether we keep Ollie or get rid of him. I still don't think
Ollie's similar to like Arteta. He's not the best manager, but he's the best manager for you. I guarantee you, if Poch came, your fans would have wanted him out in 6 months because what he likes to play with creativity out wide, whereas Man United don't really have that. They got creativity more central. and he just
Yeah,
probably would
well,
have been playing
we may have gone.
Bruno and all
We
them
may have
on the
gone,
wing.
yeah, well, we may have gone for different players in the summer, and you can address that as an example. But I do hear what you're saying. I don't think United are fluky. I think that's listen. You have some games where there's a bit of luck. I mean, the way we beat Brighton this season, getting a penalty after the final whistle. But having said that, you say it's lucky, but their man did handball it. Like, it's not lucky that he handballed it. That's their stupidity.
That's what I mean. That's why I didn't use that word. I said fluke.
Mate,
Fluke FC.
Hang on. Listen,
last question to you, Terry. Yeah, last question to you. Yeah.
Go on, last question.
Bruno Fernandes.
Yes.
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
If I had 3 hands, all 3 would have thumbs up.
Yeah, Bruno Fernandes is world class. 11 assists, 7 goals in the league. Like, nah, you can't doubt somebody that's got them numbers.
Bruv, listen, it's not just the numbers with him. So numbers are important, but it's the numbers.
Numbers don't lie.
They don't. Well, they can. And so you have to still look.
Listen to 11 assists and 7 goals. Come on,
let me just say this. Right? They don't lie in terms of how many things you've done, but Bruno's numbers are even more impressive because so many of his goals and so many of his assists have been clutch. They've been winners, equalizers, the goal to take us clear of our opponents to kill the game off. It's not just how many.
Yeah. It's not. He don't score the 5th goal in a 5-1.
He also has Man United DNA, and you don't need to come through the academy to have the DNA. Sometimes you can buy
someone. Winner's mentality. That's all it is.
But it's his determination to always be better, to never be satisfied with what you've done in the last game. Love the geezer to bits. Listen, Daniel Spencer, thanks for coming on, having your say. Listen, if we lose to Burnley, you best come on. If you actually
even if you not win to Burnley,
I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you, bruv.
I
want to hear from you. Up the forest. See you later, mate. Take care, bro. Next up on the show, we're gonna have. Oh, look, we've got Ben the Red. You reckon Ben the Red's a troll? So we get Ben the Red on. Ben the Red, what you saying? Ben the Red? No, he's done. He ain't. Ben the Red.
Yeah, I'm not a troll.
Oh, he is. It's the troll. The troll is back. Yeah, I'm not the troll. Do you know what I like about this troll? He's so bad at it, it's funny. Mark's with us. Mark's here. Mark Neves. Any relation to the other Neves at Wolves? Are you cousin or brother?
Hey, Terry, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, Mr. Neves. What do you want to say, brother?
Yeah, I want to say about the United title challenge. So we saw the last time, when you faced against Burnley, remember last time you lost, I think so, 2-0 you lost last time we faced against, so we can't you can't expect Burnley to be that low, because we have seen this season Burnley can take the points out of big teams. Just remember they just defeated Arsenal. Yes, that may be that some Aubameyang own goal, but still they have beaten, and when they score 1 goal, then they will surely park the bus for 90 minutes. So if United has a chance, then they have to score at least 2 goals to finish this game off.
Listen, they might need 2 goals. Great call, Mark. Thank you for calling the show. Next up on the show, Mr. King with the Puma hat is here. Mr. King, what you saying, bro? Oh, didn't want his face on. Oh, he's left. He's gone. He's gone. We're going to have Mike Hill on the show next. Mike, what you saying, mate?
Hi, mate. I just quickly wanted to phone in just to say, because I don't understand how everyone and his dog can see that Maguire and Lindelof don't work, and Ollie doesn't seem to understand that they don't work, and Bailey has been amazing, but he keeps playing them, so I just wanted to get your thoughts on it, really.
It's a good point. I think... How do I put this? I love Bailly, but he's all... I don't even mean... I'm not trying to tempt fate. I don't think he's going to make it to the end of January without another injury. So I think from Ollie's point of view, it's a case of you're better off getting the best relationship possible out of Lindelof and Maguire by playing them together than every time Bailly is fit, playing Maguire and Bailly, and then he gets injured and you then bring in Lindelof back in again, and it becomes a fairly unfamiliar partnership because maybe they haven't played together for 4 or 5 games. I think that may have been his train of thought. I haven't looked at his injury record, but I do think for the past year and a half, Bailly must have spent at least 60-70% of it out injured. So I do think that's the biggest issue, as opposed to Ollie seeing it, if you get where I'm coming from. What you'll generally find with most managers is they don't they're not blind. They understand football better than most fans, but often there's a logical reason that they just won't say out loud. Does that make sense? Because I don't want to hear the manager say, I play Bay every week, but he's too injury prone. That's not a good message to publicly push out towards Lindelof. And equally, we all know it. He doesn't need to say it. But yeah, that would be my thought. I mean, well,
Yeah.
would you reckon?
Yeah, you could be right on that one, to be honest with you, because there's been rumours that we're looking for a new centre-back as well, so maybe that's part of the reason behind that as well. But I just think if we play Lindelof and Maguire against Liverpool, we're going to get smashed. I hate to say it, but we're going to get smashed.
Yeah, look, I want Bay to be there. And listen, I say to people, I have my favourite players at the club, people that I just I feel as a fan, I just like the way they play or things they say. But I don't really care who starts as long as we win. I don't care whether everyone knows I'm a big fan of Rashford. If over the next year, Palestri and Diallo put Rashford on the bench, you won't see me complain. I won't care as long as we're winning football. Yeah. That's just my mantra. And for me, the football club comes first. It always has, and it always will. And the same here. I want Bay to be fit because I want him to play. I think he's been excellent over that Christmas period, but I do worry about him. And Liverpool can be quite physical when they want to be. I remember the way Dan James got smashed up at Old Trafford last season, and it was almost celebrated. I do worry that Bay might get a little targeted because all you've got. My fear with him is this: all it takes is every single free kick and corner. Just throw a man into him. Like, they're not fouls, really. Like, clash with him in the air, and the likelihood is that Bay's going to come off worse because his body falls apart. And it's a shame, really, because if he didn't have the injury problems, he'd be one of the best centre-backs in the world, in my view, because that first season when he came in, he was immense, and he's just never been able to stay fit since.
Exactly. It's just it's a real shame about his injury record. If we can get another Bayer that's fit, that would be incredible. But, I mean, there's Twanzebe as well. I don't know why he doesn't play Twanzebe more. He's done well as well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. I've been a little bit surprised. So actually, yeah, looking at this here. So since 2018, he spent 100, 250. He spent, since Ollie's been the manager at Man United, Bay spent over 300 days injured. Wow. Including 43 days this season. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, interestingly, he only had in the 2016-17 season, he missed 8 games, 38 days. In the 2017-18, that was where it all started. He missed 21 days early in the season, and for a month, and then was out from November to February. And then it's playing himself back into the team, I suppose. But yeah, he does have an injury almost every single season, and they're long ones. Yeah, 121 days in 2018, 154 days in 2020, and so far this season already he's missed 43 days. So yeah, it's officially out injured, and then you've got to throw in all the knocks that don't count. So a pull here, a strain there, where you miss a week or two. They often don't show them on the injury record list because they're not official injuries; they're just knocks. So yeah, you probably find that he's missed another 50 days through knocks in that time period. So yeah, in a 2-year period, he's missed half the time. So 50% of the time he ain't available. That's probably why he hasn't played, I would say, Mike.
Yeah, you must be right there, to be honest with you. It's a bit ridiculous. It's a shame because he's a really, really good defender. So.
I do. But Mike, listen, thanks for coming on the show and having your say, mate. Really do appreciate it.
No worries, mate. See you in a bit.
Top man, take care. Thank you. Next up, we've got Shane. Shane, welcome back to the show. What do you want to say, bro?
It's about the Fosu-Mensah deal.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I've always been someone who's rated him. But he wanted to go because there was reports that he rejected an extension. Romano's obviously said that he's agreed personal terms. I don't know if there's a fee coming in for the deal. Do you know?
If it's now, I don't know. I don't know. Nothing's
well, if there is, I wouldn't say it's much, but I think for both parties, it's probably the best move. He can probably go out to Germany to play some football, and we can probably get a bit of money and invest it in a possibly. Not really an alternative in terms of a right back, but use the money to invest in different positions. And it's annoying because I've always liked him, but it just wasn't going to work out. So I wish him the best.
Yeah, he's just not good enough.
I suppose
been out on loan, and yeah, I wish him all the best. And I remember his debut. I want to say it was against Arsenal. Tremendous. Absolutely tremendous.
He was very good in his first when he came into the team under Van Gaal.
Just hasn't kicked on, and these things happen. And it's a shame.
Yeah.
But, Yeah, wish him all the very best indeed. Shane, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say, buddy. Speak to you again soon, mate. Devil's Advocate here says Bay equals Ledley King 2.0. Shame he can't stay fit. Yeah, I mean, Ledley King could have gone down to be a Premier League great. He was so good, Ledley King. But injuries just let him down. Oh, someone here saying apparently it's 1.5 million for Fosu. Listen, getting him off the books for 6 months' salary is going to save us hundreds of thousands of pounds. Plus getting 1.5 million for him. It's not a bad little deal, bruv. You just put that towards a kitty for signing Ndidi, bruv. Simple and as straightforward as that. Let's do a few more of these comments here before we end the stream. Someone just says, Bruno, I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that means, my friend. Terry's more entertaining when he's a little bit tipsy. Okay, fair enough. I'll bear that in mind. Not drinking at the minute, but there we go. Ridiculous to call Terry. Okay, I'm not really reading that one out. Very weird comment from some people out here. There we Fab tweeted again. We go check out Fabby Boy's tweets. Oh, Fabioso, what's he saying? Oh, Moise Caicedo deal negotiations are progressing between Independiente de Villa, I think that's been, and Brighton. They are leading the race, confirmed. Also, Newcastle were in the last few hours. Do you know what? It's interesting because it's Newcastle and Brighton looking at him. You notice that nobody's triggered by it. They're like, no big clubs are looking at him now, so we'll be a little bit relaxed. You know, it could be one of them. If he turns up and he's doing what, it's interesting. Brighton looking at him. Maybe Man United thinking, is it Basuma who's at Brighton? Maybe Man United thinking we'll go for Basuma when he comes in. Maybe there's method to the madness. May we. Thank you there to Chelsea fan. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. Do I think United let Smalling go too early? No, not really. He's no better than Lindelof. He's not as good as Maguire. He's not as good as Bailly. He's Tuanzebe level. Tuanzebe's got the ability to push on, if that makes sense. So there we go. Fab said we could go for multiple big deals. Jack has to be our priority. Where did he say that? Has he done that in a reply to someone or something? I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that. Maybe he said it on a podcast. He says a lot of stuff. I don't see it all. Cam, cheers, mate. Sorry if I'm boring you, bro. Simple as that. Listen, everyone who's tuned into this show, thank you. Got a massive video dropping around 8 o'clock tonight, all about Amad Diallo, reviewing and assessing and sort of dissecting, reviewing, going over. He's dribbling, he's crossing, he's shooting as well. Guy loves a shot. And some interesting, some huge similarities between him and Marcus Rashford. Real keen for you guys to watch it. Out tonight. Do me a big favor. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the retweet button as well. But until next time, everybody, thank you for all the super chats, by the way, as well. Mean a great deal to us.